The air is thick with a silent, invisible poison, and most of us breathe it in every single day. It is the poison of reaction, the slow, corrosive acid of allowing the world and the flawed people in it to dictate the state of our inner world. Think for a moment of the last time a careless word, a petty slight, or a moment of sheer incompetence from another person stole your peace. It wasn't just a moment of frustration. It was a surrender. You handed the keys to your emotional kingdom to a stranger, a colleague, or a family member, and you let them drive your tranquility right off a cliff. You felt the familiar hot surge, the tightening in the chest, the quickening of the breath, the sudden, blinding clarity of righteous indignation. This is the price of being bothered, and it is a price you pay in the currency of your own life, your focus and your happiness. But what if there was a way to never pay that price again? What if you could stand in the eye of the storm, perfectly still, while the chaos of the world raged around you? This is not a fantasy of emotional repression. It is the absolute, attainable promise of Stoic philosophy, a path forged by emperors, slaves, and thinkers who understood the true architecture of the human spirit. Secret to never getting angry or bothered by anyone is not found in changing the world, but in a single profound act of reclassification. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, a man who knew hardship intimately, gave us the master key to this emotional freedom, the dichotomy of control. He taught that some things are up to us, and some things are not. This is not a simple platitude. It is the bedrock of all emotional resilience. What is up to us? Our opinions, our impulses, our desires, our aversions, and in a word, whatever is our own action. What is not up to us? Our body, our possessions, reputation, office, and, crucially, what other people do. The moment you internalize this distinction, a monumental shift occurs. You realize that the vast majority of your anger and frustration is directed at things that lie firmly outside your jurisdiction. You are essentially yelling at the rain for being wet, or at a stone for being hard. Consider the person who cuts you off in traffic, the coworker who takes credit for your idea, or the friend who betrays a confidence. The event itself, the swerve of the car, the spoken lie, is merely an external phenomenon, a fact of the universe. It is morally neutral until you assign meaning to it. Your anger is not a natural, inevitable response to the event. It is a secondary, chosen judgment. Epictetus famously declared, "It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance." This is the great intellectual pivot of Stoicism. The insult is just a sound, a vibration of air. The offense is a story you tell yourself about that sound. If you change the story, you change the emotion. The person who insulted you has done nothing to your soul. They have only exposed their own ignorance or poor character. Why should you allow their inner turmoil to become your own? The Stoics understood that anger is a form of temporary madness. Seneca, the great Roman statesman and philosopher, saw it as a hideous, frenzied passion that blinds reason and leads to ruin. He argued that we should not merely try to moderate anger, but to destroy it entirely. For what control can there be over something fundamentally wicked? He observed that anger's consequences are always more harmful than the circumstances that provoked it. The outburst, the ruined relationship, the sleepless night, these are the true costs, and they are self-inflicted. The greatest remedy, Seneca insisted, is delay. When the first flush of rage appears, do not act. Give yourself a moment, a day, a week. Anger is a quick, hot fire. If you deny it fuel for even a short time, it will burn itself out. This simple act of pausing is the space where your freedom resides. But how do we cultivate this pause? We turn to the wisdom of the emperor Marcus Aurelius, who, despite ruling the Roman world, struggled daily with the pettiness and treachery of those around him. In his meditations, he offered himself 10 gifts from Apollo, 10 cognitive strategies to dismantle anger before it could take root. The first and most powerful is to remember that we are made for cooperation. We are social creatures, like hands or feet, designed to work together. To be angry with another human is to act against nature, to make a hand fight a foot. When someone wrongs you, see them not as an enemy, but as a fellow human who has simply lost their way, a part of the whole that is momentarily malfunctioning. This leads to the second gift, the profound realization that no one does evil willingly. This Socratic paradox is not an excuse for bad behavior, but a powerful tool for emotional detachment. People act wrongly because they are ignorant of what is truly good for them. They believe that cheating, lying, or being cruel will somehow serve their self-interest. They are simply mistaken in their judgment of what is valuable. They are ethically blind, and you do not get angry at a blind man for stumbling. You feel pity. When you view a transgression as an error of judgment rather than an act of pure malice, your anger dissolves into a calm, philosophical pity. Another essential gift is to consider their character as a whole. When we are angry, we focus on a single annoying flaw. But Marcus reminds us to step back and see the full person, the one with their own struggles, their own history, their own moments of kindness and competence. The person who annoys you is not a one-dimensional villain. They are a complex, flawed human being, just like you. And this brings us to the most humbling realization. We all have similar flaws. Before you condemn another, turn the lens inward. Ask yourself if you are guilty, actually or potentially, of a similar moral failing. The anger you feel is often a mirror reflecting a part of yourself you dislike. By shifting the focus to your own improvement, the energy of anger is transformed into the productive force of self-correction, the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, is a powerful shield against being bothered. The wise person does not expect a perfect world. They anticipate that people will be annoying, that things will break, and that life will be unfair. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." By accepting these inevitabilities in advance, you strip them of their power to surprise and upset you. When the inevitable happens, you can greet it with a calm nod, saying, "Ah, yes, this is what the world does." You are not shocked. You are prepared. Furthermore, you must remember the ultimate truth, memento mori, the reminder that you and everyone around you must die. The argument, the slight, the momentary annoyance, it will all be lost in the mists of time. When you are tempted to rage, remind yourself that the person you are angry with will be dead before long, and shortly thereafter forgotten forever. Does this trivial slight truly warrant the sacrifice of your limited, precious time on this earth? Focusing on the transience of all things makes the cause of your anger feel utterly pointless. The final, most practical strategy is to choose kindness as the antidote. Anger is the desire for revenge, the wish for another to suffer. Its true opposite is the desire to help, to show benevolence. When someone is acting from a place of ignorance or pain, the most powerful, disarming response is not to meet their fire with your own, but to respond with a genuine effort to understand or assist. This is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength. It is the move of an emotional sovereign who refuses to be dragged down to the level of the petty and the reactive. The path to never being angry or bothered is not a destination, but a daily practice of philosophical vigilance. It is the constant, conscious choice to distinguish between the event and your judgment of it. It is the commitment to see others not as agents of your suffering, but as flawed, struggling members of your own human family. It is the realization that your peace is a fortress and only you can open the gates. The world will continue to be chaotic. People will continue to be imperfect, but your response is yours alone. You have the power to stand apart, to observe the drama without participating in the frenzy. You can reclaim the keys to your kingdom, not by fighting the world, but by mastering your mind. Choose to be the sovereign of your soul. Choose to be unbothered. Choose the strength of the Stoic. The journey begins now.